Listen, if you are a high performing woman who is tired of putting everybody's needs above your own and tired of burning out just to be successful, then this is for you. I've created a beautiful sanctuary for women online virtual community that is really designed to help you reclaim your health and reclaim your life. So I'm teaching you how to activate your body's natural ability to heal through things like movement, energetic healing, nervous system healing. And we are doing this in community. We're doing this as part of a sisterhood. So you don't have to do it alone. And we've had women interested from all over the world. And if you're new here, honestly, welcome. 100% welcome to this space. Our community on Instagram has grown literally thousands of new people in the last week. And we've gained hundreds and hundreds of new followers on TikTok. And our YouTube is growing. So if you are new here, I'm so grateful that you're here. I'm so grateful that this content resonates with you. And I'm really excited to see that you are interested in your healing. And so if you don't know who I am, my name is Fantana Shatamsa. I'm the founder of Sacred Lotus Holistic Wellness. And I'm also the founder of the Sacred Lotus Sanctuary, which is a brand new online space that has just opened. We've just did our soft launch. So we are slowly building up our community of women, and our first live class is happening Wednesday, January 7th. And so in this community, we are really focusing on healing, but moving beyond just healing and trauma and into actual embodiment. We're taking all of the knowledge out of our head and out of, just absorbing a lot of information over and over again, and we're actually putting it into practice with accountability, with community, with partners, with each other. And so this space is really designed to help you move out of just constantly struggling, constantly healing, and constantly, trying to just absorb a bunch of information, and how to actually put it into practice. And so in the community, we have weekly events. So we have weekly live coaching where you can actually share things that you're working through, whether it's like through your dating and relationships, maybe your career, maybe your business, your finances, things that you're actually working through and trying to heal in your life. And you get real time practical advice as to like how to work through it. And I'm sharing stuff not based on just what I've read, but things that I've actually lived through and things that I've actually, leaped through and had to work through to actually get through the other side. And it's not just me that I've done this with. I've helped hundreds of women to get past just constantly struggling, constantly, going through the healing, constantly, going back and forth, up and down, repeating the same cycles, repeating the same patterns, to actually moving forward in their life and getting the life that they desire. And so we do our live coaching calls. We also have our weekly live somatic healing classes. So in those classes, I'm going to teach you things about how to heal your body. So we're going to go through how to move in certain ways through comedic yoga, through breath work, through energy healing, and actually focus on, again, not just the head knowledge, but how do we process the trauma? How do we actually release it from our body? Because a lot of us are still holding on to pain and hurt that's happened in childhood. And this is no blame, no shame, no judgment. This is the reality of how trauma lives in our bodies, because we can do the therapy, we can do the talk, we can do the knowledge absorption, but if we're not putting it into practice, if we're not actually releasing and letting go, because our body's keeping score, our body's remembering, if we're not actually letting go of that stuff, we're never going to be able to move forward. And so we do our somatic healing classes once a week. And then we have our check-ins. We have our Sunday tea time where we just get together as women online virtually and just, have a low pressure check-in. So you're really going to want to be a part of the sanctuary. And again, if you're new, welcome. And the three main things that we focus on in the sanctuary is community, of course, because we don't need to be healing in isolation. We don't need to be healing alone. When we have a community of women that are around us, that are supporting us, that are all here to want you to win, we all want to support you and make sure that you're winning and thriving, that just makes you feel so much more empowered to do it. So community is one of our big things in the sanctuary. Nervous system healing is another big thing that we talk about. So how do we get out of these cycles and these patterns? Because most of us are carrying a lot of deep-seated shame and deep-seated guilt that we don't even realize that we're carrying. Because a lot of us have thrived in environments that have been oppressive, like we've had to overcome, but we've internalized so much because we've swept things under the rug. We haven't actually dealt with stuff. We've just learned how to function and cope and deal, given all these pressures that are on us, and still holding on to a lot of these deep-seated traumas and these deep-seated emotions. So we go through a lot of nervous system healing. So how do we get out of this high cortisol state? How do we get out of, constant inflammation in the body? How do we get out of constant fight or flight where our mind is constantly racing and our body's constantly activated? And how do we actually get into the rest and digest mode? So we go through a lot of rewiring of our thoughts, of our nerves, experiencing neuroplasticity. We go through principles of what it actually takes to develop new neural pathways, what like the actual practices that it takes to create the new life that you want, to create the new patterns and the new cycles, and to actually break the old ones. So that all comes through the mind and through the nervous system. So we do a lot of healing that way. And then we go through the somatic. So that's exactly what I was talking about earlier. How do we actually get rid of the shame, get rid of the guilt? And we do this through movement. So there's a lot of movement that I teach, a lot of breath work that I teach, a lot of Reiki that I teach, so energy healing. To actually start shifting, because sometimes we don't realize that the physiological things that we're experiencing are not just a symptom of physical health. They're a symptom of emotional and spiritual health, so things that we're actually holding on to. So if you constantly, for example, have TMJD, or like tight clenching jaw, this could be an indication that you're withholding, that you've had to keep your composure for so long, and there's things that you need to speak and release that you haven't been able to release. So how do we begin to release the muscles of the jaw, of the throat, of the neck, so that we can open up our communication and start beginning to speak our truth and start to speak clearly and communicate clearly? So there's a lot of connection that happens through what's happening in our body, how we actually feel. Maybe you feel chest pain, maybe you feel heart palpitations, maybe you feel indigestion in your stomach. This is not just a physical manifestation. This is an emotional and spiritual manifestation of deeper wounds and deeper emotion and deeper trauma, that through this, in the sanctuary, we help you to work through and help you to process through the things like movement, through the things like nervous system healing, through the things like rest. So there's a whole regulation library that's being built. And we even go through things like the blocks. Like, so if you keep repeating the same patterns and cycles, what are the blocks that you're experiencing? What are the actual stories that you're telling yourself? And I'll be honest, this year, 2025, has been a big year of expansion for me. And I had to really work with and work through the fact that I had limitations on my container. I would say, my container of what I could receive. I would say, I want abundance, I want this, I want that. But when things started coming my way, I would start to shut down. Physically, I would feel a block, like, oh my gosh, can I actually handle this? Is this really meant for me? What's this going to cost me? Do I have the capacity? Do I even have the capability to take all of this on? Am I ready for this? Am I designed for this? So I started to realize my receiving container was not as big as what I believed and I felt that it was. So I had to go through a lot of nervous system re-regulating, a lot of nervous system healing in my own life, so that I could actually open up and be open to what the universe actually wants for me. And so this is a constant lifestyle, a constant practice. As you leap and you grow and you expand, you constantly have to work through opening up your capacity, opening up your container to receive. And again, what are we telling ourselves? This is nervous system healing, nervous system regulation, how to create those new, that new default setting of, like, rather than saying, am I enough? Do I have the ability? But now we start to say, like, I am more than enough. Like, this is what I'm designed for. Like, I'm created for this. Abundance is my birthright. I have what it takes to handle this. So these are the types of things, these are the type of practices and mantras and scripting that we do in the sanctuary to help prepare us for the life that we want. So yes, first we work through the mind, we work through that nervous system regulation, that nervous system healing, clearing our blocks, opening up our containers, and then we release what is weighing us down through the body. we work through things. So I'm also a registered massage therapist, certified doula, certified Reiki practitioner. I'm a trauma-informed wellness consultant, comedic yoga teacher. So there's a lot of work that I've done through the body, with the body. I was a nurse's aide for 8 years, became a registered massage therapist, been doing this for 8 years, recently got my certification in comedic yoga. So I've been in the health science field for almost 20 years now. So I know what the body's holding on to, and I know that dis-ease and illness is a manifestation of something deeper. So how do we let go? And we let go through movement. We let go through tapping, through shaking. If you're feeling inflammation, if you're getting puffiness or stagnant lymph or stagnant circulation, this is an indication that there's emotions that are stagnant in your body. So when triggers come up, what do? When something comes up in your life, what do? Are you a person who, goes through a tough conversation? Maybe you're going through a breakup. Maybe you just had a difficult meeting at work. Do you just sit there? What do you do with all that anger? What do you do with all that sadness? If that emotion does not have a place to be released, it's going to be stored in your body as dis-ease. And so this is what we see a lot of time. A lot of folks who've experienced early childhood trauma, who didn't have a person to co-regulate with, they've had to sit, myself included, sit with these emotions, but not have an ability to let it go. So when you have trauma, when you have stuck emotions like shame and guilt and anger and resentment, bitterness or jealousy or hurt or grief is a big one. If you're holding on to all of these and they don't have a place to be released, they're showing up all over your body. They're showing up as chronic conditions, chronic illness, heart palpitations, weakened immune system, difficulty recovering, autoimmune diseases, like diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol. Your body is dysregulated, and so there's a dysfunction that's happening because your cortisol levels are high, your stress levels are high. And the thing is, the thing that blows my mind all the time is that we don't even realize it. We're so unaware. We go through this life and we experience things like chronic headaches, or every day I got back pain, every day I have, IBS, or every day I have, a clenching jaw, and we've just normalized this so much, but that does not need to be our normal. I want all of you to be healthy and thriving and literally living your best life, going after the things that you want and attracting the things that you want, being open to receiving and open to the idea that this life is just so abundant and you can literally experience anything that you want. Your heart's desires, your vision, all of the things that you want is open to you if you can release the shame, if you can release the grief, if you can release the guilt and start opening yourself up to receiving that. And so yes, again, I'm going to say it all the time, the nervous system regulation, the nervous system healing, what are our thoughts, what are our cycles, what are our patterns, how is that showing up in our life, and how is it showing up in our body. So we have a full regulation library where I work through specific things with you. So it could be something like, maybe a relationship issue that's come up, or maybe there's like a block when it comes to communicating with a colleague or a boss. Maybe it's like another, specific trigger that comes up. How do we work through it? So we go through our thought patterns, and then we go through the physical manifestation. So where is it showing up in your body? Is it showing up in your heart? Do you feel like your heart racing? How do we move that? Do you feel like your blood pressure is up? What are the practices that you need to do? Do you need to go for a walk? Do you need to stretch? Do you need to move in a particular way to help process that emotion so it doesn't get held? So the sanctuary is now open, and I'm really just so grateful that all of you are here, because the fact that we've grown so much in such a short amount of time shows that there's an interest, there's a desire, there's a need for healing, and people want to heal, right? We want to get better, and we want to be empowered with the tools and the education and the knowledge to show ourselves and to make the best decision for ourselves for how to heal ourselves. Because sometimes the doctors, we have long wait lists, we have, long wait times. We don't know what exactly is best for us. We don't know how to combine the physical, the emotional, the spiritual, the mental, because we have to see so many different practitioners for all of it. But in the sanctuary, I'm going to give you the tools and the resources, and we also have wellness experts that are in. So we have a pharmacognosist that's in. So she's going to be teaching us what we actually need to eat, the herbs, the food that we need to eat so that we can work through some of the physical symptoms. Maybe it's PCOS, maybe it's PCOS, menopause, some of those physical ailments that we experience as women. Maybe it's hormonal regulation, maybe it's skin conditions. Again, all of these are physical manifestations of deeper emotional health. And so we have mindset coaches in there. We have myself, who's a somatic healer, a somatic expert. So I'm going to teach us how, like, what we actually need to do to work through certain emotions and how they're showing up in your body and how to release them. And we're going to, as part of our coaching calls, we're going to have these experts come in so you can ask live questions. You can, say what you need to say. And if you're going through something actually in your life right now, whether it's emotional, whether it's physical, whether it's financial, whether it's relational, you can ask those questions and see, what are the practices that I need to do? How do I need to move? How do I need to regulate myself in order to get myself more aligned with this, with what I want in this life? And so if you're ready to reclaim your health and reclaim your life in 2026, you need to get in there. Join the sanctuary while it's free. So it is free right now. It's free until March. So if you join now, you will be one of our founding members. And so once we start charging for the sanctuary, you'll get in at founder rates, at founder member pricing. So I would encourage you, the sanctuary is blooming, literally blooming. There's so many tools, there's so many videos, there's so many resources to help you work through some of the stuff that I know you're going through right now, but you don't have to go through it alone, okay? I'm there with you. We have the community there. We have the experts there. So go in there, learn as much as you can, absorb what you need to, and allow it to help you. It's there for you. If you're going through something in your life right now, I promise you there's something in the sanctuary that's going to help you work through it. There's going to be something, whether it's a financial situation, whether it's a career situation, whether it's a relationship situation. It's not just what you're doing right and doing wrong. There's things physically that you need to work through and things in your nervous system that you need to work through that you're going to find support with in the sanctuary. So it's not you. Don't blame yourself. There's no shame with it. It's not that you're cursed. It's not that you keep, repeating the same cycles because you want to or because, life is just dealing you these deck of cards. There's things that you need to work through as far as blocks, as far as resistances, that you had no idea were there. But through the understanding and the knowledge, you then become empowered with the tools and the education to start releasing and start actually moving forward in your healing journey. Many of us are stagnant for so long. Right? We've been on this healing journey for decades, and it's like we're just learning all this stuff. We're learning all this stuff, but how do we actually move forward? And that's what the sanctuary is about. It's about embodied healing, so we can actually make steps forward. And so the link is in our bio to join while it's free. Make sure you share with a friend who could really use the support as well, who could really use the sisterhood. And I can't wait to see you there. So welcome all the new folks. Hello again to all our regulars. And I can't wait to see you over in the sanctuary. If you have any questions at all, feel free to DM me. And that's all for now. I look forward to seeing you soon. Happy New Year. Bye.